Today, I got 20 secret tips to help you get better at XDefiant, and there's definitely something in there that you did not know. Tip number 1, you can actually sprint side to side in XDefiant. Now, this is a cool feature that a lot of people don't notice, but if you're sprinting forward, you can actually move your character side to side. Now, what is this going to do? 1, make you a harder target, right? When they're shooting at you or sniping at you, and you're moving side to side as you're moving towards them, you're going to be harder to hit. It'll allow you to open up in a gunfight and get a kill. What's so cool about this, there's even an advanced technique with this that you can kind of move diagonal / sideways and kind of still be centered in a specific spot. Now, again, this is good to catch your opponent off guard. If you're centered somewhere and you're moving sideways, they're not going to expect you to move in that weird way, and then you're obviously ready for the gunfight. So use this to your advantage. Tip number 2, you can actually change your abilities for a complete reset on the timer. What do I mean by this? Well, if you start off with a specific ability, let's say the ghillie suit, and you activate it as Echelon, and you use the ghillie suit, now there's a 30-second cooldown. What you can actually do is switch to the other ability, which is the intel suit, which is like the wall hacks. It cuts the timer down to 5 seconds, and you almost get it back instantly off spawn. This is definitely like a cheesy move, but just know you can do this, and I'm sure you can use it to your advantage if you like. P.S. I don't use this, but I have. Tip number 3, I'm pretty sure you guys have all done this. You can actually wallbang stuff in this game. Now, people have probably tried to shoot through stuff and you're like, I can't wallbang anything. That is not entirely true. There are certain spots usually that are very thin objects or like wood-like material. You can shoot through it. Yes, I've done it before. Obviously, this comes with like kind of practice, playtime. You figure out the little cheesy spots and you're like, oh, I can shoot through this, I can shoot through that. Usually tarps, like very thin stuff, like I said. And this will obviously come in with more playtime, and it's definitely very effective. Tip number 4, cleaners can make guns kill in 1 bullet. Or maybe 1 bullet less than what it takes. So if you did not know this, cleaner actually has a passive. The incendiary rounds, fire rounds, basically does a certain damage over time. So for example, if your gun adds up to 95 damage, all it needs is that 5 extra damage to kill, 1 bullet less. And by the time you hit those 4 or 5 bullets, let's say 5 bullets, the last fire damage will take them out before you need to shoot another bullet. Now this comes in handy, for example, with the MDR. This gun is really good, but very underrated. And with cleaners, you kill basically at that damage range. I think it's about 20 to 25 meters, depending on what attachments you have. It will kill in 1 less bullet. So up close and medium range, you're taking people out quicker and you're killing them a lot faster. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but this is very effective. And when equipped with the right class, like the SVD, for example, this is a 98 damage to the head. But with cleaners, it's a 1 shot to the head, because as soon as you hit them in the head, boom, the fire damage ticks, 2 damage, instant kill. So this is really cool to know. You definitely got to mess around with the numbers, do some math yourself, but very quickly, I myself or other people will tell you, or you'll learn how to use this with certain guns and attachments. Tip number 5, the super jump. Now, this is a cool movement mechanic you can do in this game. Basically, if you jump and slide at the same time, it's kind of like a mini launch pad. It like kind of jumps far. You jump a little farther and quicker than you would just with a regular jump. Now, again, you just want to jump, slide at the exact same time. And there's definitely times to do this, right? I use this a lot in my gameplay, usually to propel myself forward to an enemy, especially when I'm using a close quarter gun like an SMG, a pistol, a shotgun. I like to use this to kind of push me forward because I know it's a little bit quicker and farther than a regular jump, and I can catch my opponent off guard. I'll be closer to them, which will make the gunfight easier for me. Another way you can do this and use this is if you're like in a platform or like higher up and you use this is even going to launch you farther than normally if you just jump, right? So this is pretty effective to get you even closer somewhere, cut that distance a little bit. So it helps you maneuver around the map, helps you get places quicker. It's definitely effective and you want to use it. Tip number 6, this crouch setting is very important. You're probably wondering why. After the update, the movement nerf, crouching now has a penalty after 3 crouches. So if you spam me crouch, you're going to get that penalty. Your aim's going to go all over the place and it's going to look very bad and your aim's going to be horrible. So what do you want to do? You want to go from hold to toggle. This is going to allow you to control your crouch slowly and still utilize your crouch shot. Because if you do a hold, it just spams it too quickly and you get that penalty a lot quicker. So you want to put it back to toggle, and basically you can crouch 1 time slowly, go back up, and you're not going to really get that penalty unless you're spamming it again for some reason. But you got to learn how to control the crouch. Changing the setting and understanding how this penalty works, you can still crouch shot. And by the way, I think crouch shotting is effective and I still do it all the time. Tip number 7, sprint / walk fast while shooting. This is a cool feature that I feel like not many people realize, but in this game, I do have auto attack sprint on, by the way, just in case. But in this game, if you move forward and you shoot, your character kind of moves quickly while hip firing. And, you know, basically if there's someone near you or close to you, it's going to be a free kill. This is good usually when chasing down somebody, or hell, if someone's on you and you're like, you know what, I'm not even going to aim in, I'm a hip fire. But while moving, changing up the game a little bit, while moving, you're going to hip fire. You know, it actually can make you like, you can kind of strafe while you're on them, shooting, hip firing. Like, you don't have to be so just still, you know what I mean? So this is like kind of a cool feature, something you can utilize. Again, it's not like super fast, but it definitely moves forward and you can definitely use it. I use it from time to time. It's just a cool little tip to know. Tip number 8, you can turn away from flashes like CSGO. So basically, if a flash is thrown at you, whether it's your own flash or an enemy flash, if you turn around, don't look at that direction, it's not going to hit you. It's not going to affect you. It's a pretty cool feature. I know games like CSGO, I think Call of Duty implemented it too not too long ago, but this can be used to your benefit. Obviously, you see a flash coming your way, you can turn sideways, all the way around if you have time, and it's not going to hurt you or affect you as bad. You can even pop flash, like, you know, throw one in a room, turn around a little bit, come back in, ready, bang, 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 take them all out. So definitely cool to know and understand. Tip number 9, shooting through windows. And by windows, I mean vehicles, cars. Now, not all maps have cars, but there are a few that have them and you can use them. This is the cool thing about these windows is that, one, you kind of have a head glitch. Head glitch is where you can basically only see your head. So that's one advantage you have. 2, it's harder for them to spot you through the window. First off, it's obviously you see like a little face, creepy face looking at you, but it's definitely harder to spot you. So you have already an advantage. And then 3, you're shooting through a window, which is going to be hard for them to even realize it. And by the time they do, they might be dead or they'll be just very weak. By the time they react, they're probably dead. So this is a cool thing to understand and know. Now, something to know about this, I believe, and I'm pretty sure after I tested it, bullets do 2 damage less per window shot. So your window bullets are going to be slightly weaker, but that's fine. You know, like I said, you just have such a huge advantage, and there's certain maps and certain vehicles that you can use this a lot on, so make sure to use it. Tip 10, shooting that dang old annoying spider. Now, we all hate that spider, probably the most annoying thing in the game. People are confused. Some people know this already, some people don't. Just shoot it off you. You want to look down and start hip firing, and if you look all the way down, start hip firing, usually you'll take it out. But there's 2 things to know. 1, sometimes when you look all the way down, it doesn't always work. So what I do is I kind of go up a little bit slightly. I start wiggling my aim a little bit, kind of just like trying to get it off me, right? Just like wiggling a little bit, you know. Sometimes just looking straight down doesn't always work. That's one thing to understand. 2, I'm pretty certain that it's not always 100%. I think your odds are like 80 to 90%. There's definitely once in a while, once in a blue moon, where you're gonna do it and it's not gonna work. I don't think it's a glitch. It could be, but I know they patched the spider glitch, so don't take my word for it. You guys can let me know in the comments down below, but there's definitely times, like 1 out of 10 times, where it doesn't work, but usually it will. Tip 11, how to not die from those damn proximity mines. Second most annoying thing in the game, at least for me. There's 2 things you have to know, right? 1, if you did not know this, if you crouch as soon as it comes up in the air, it won't kill you. Now, it might do, I think, a little bit of damage, but at least it won't kill you unless you're like that weak. Then I'm sorry, that's just unfortunate. But this is good to know. And the more you practice this and the more it becomes muscle memory, you'll react to it quicker. You do it all the time like I do now. And it's definitely very beneficial because those things are annoying to die to. Obviously, there's random situations where it is what it is. You're fighting, it comes up, you're like, oh, well, I'm dead. Also, something else, and another way to do it is like if you're sprinting and it comes, or you're like practically borderline start sprinting and you see it come up, you insta slide, because basically you're going to slide so quick. 1, it puts you like in a crouch stance, and 2, it also gets you away from it. So it gives you that distance where it doesn't even affect you. So you might not even get hit by it if you slide immediately. That's 2 things, and it's going to help you a lot. Tip number 12, another cool feature you can do in this game is sprint spam ADS. Now, basically what this looks like is, 1, you're going to want to have auto attack sprint on because you need this on. You're going to want to move forward and you're going to want to spam your ADS, your aim in, whatever button that may be. And basically you're going to spam it and it's going to kind of make you float around the map while you're kind of like ADSing in and out, but like very quickly. And this is going to kind of cut the animation in half, that, you know, when you go from completely non-ADS so all the way ADS. Now, is this beneficial? It could be. Definitely, like, you're basically cutting the whole ADS animation in half. But what is of cons to it? You're kind of like a sitting duck in a way. Like, you're kind of in just like a standing strafing position. So if someone can easily target you and take you out. But if you do it the right place, or you're kind of ready for that gunfight, definitely will help you in those random situations. So something cool to know, and if you want to apply it to your gameplay, you can. Tip number 13, canceling reload. Now, let's talk about this really quickly, because there's 2 things I really want want to say. One, there's a feature in this game that you can turn on. If you ADS, it automatically cancels your reload. Now, this is very important because if you're in a tough situation or you start your reloading and then someone comes in front of you, you aim it automatically cancels. You can shoot your gun. So this is beneficial for that reason. Two, I like to YY or triangle or whatever your buddy may be, swap your weapons back very quickly to cancel the reload or even cancel the reload animation. So basically at the end of the reload, the animation lasts an extra, let's say 0.5 seconds, half a second. That half a second could be, you know, do or die, whether you die or live. So something you got to know is when I'm like, I know my reload is finished, I cancel the last half of the second, and it keeps me alive sometimes because that way my gun is up quicker than, you know, it would have been, and I just am able to shoot my gun and take them out. But you can do it either way to cancel the reloads. Both ways work. I'm naturally used to triangle, aka swapping my guns, and like I said, canceling that reload animation can help. Tip number 14, and this is shout out to my shotgun users and the people that love shotgunning around. But this is something cool to understand is when you jump shot and just fly around with your shotgun and you shoot, it messes up the spread. So basically, this happens to me all the time. You go around with that pump, you jump shot or like jump towards them, you shoot your shot, and usually that would be a one pump, but it's not, right? The bullets just don't really connect. You're like, what the heck just happened? Well, for some reason, the spread is worse when you jump. Kind of understandable, but that's how they obviously made the game. So what I do and what I've done is I literally sprint most of the time when I'm using my shotgun, unless I absolutely have to jump shot or I need to jump shot forward, like towards them. I'm sprinting. Sprint around, use that side to side sprint around, and just boom. And you could get some far, like I'm talking about, your mind will be blown from the shots you can do just from sprinting. Like you're doubling the distance on one pumps. So it's pretty crazy and good to know. Tip 15, if you did not know, if you go to your class setups and your weapons and you press triangle or whatever it may be, it shows you basically secret stats or a way to open up the stats of the gun. Now, it has a lot of good information on there, but let's talk about the most useful. First of all, it has damage range and usually damage of the weapon. It has fire rate on the weapon, and all that can help you understand the weapon and like how you want to build the attachments and what you want to put on it. Obviously, knowing the damage of the weapon can tell you how many bullets it takes to kill, right? If it's 20 damage per bullet, then obviously you times that by 5. It's 100 health. That's what most characters have, other than the Phantom. That's a 6 bullet kill. But understand these things, like for example, the MP5, if you have, it has a 19 damage per bullet. But if you equip heavy barrel on it, it makes it 20 damage per bullet. So now you do lower the fire rate. That is the con, but you make the weapon a 5 bullet kill instead of a 6 bullet kill. So these are cool little things to understand. It's very useful when I'm creating my classes. 9 out of 10 times, I'm usually checking these stats, running numbers, kind of seeing like, do I want my weapon to have more damage range, or is it too short? So use it. We have tip 16, the Phantom Ultras, the big bubble. I didn't know if this was even possible, but I realized it the more I used it. You can actually kill people out of the bubble range. So I don't know if this is like a desync thing going on, or I don't know, but I don't think it is because it looks pretty natural on the screen. It doesn't look like it's really a desync, but basically if they're like on the outline of your bubble, like literally outside of the bubble, they're not, but they're not in, you can still kill them with the shotgun, whatever. I don't even know what weapon that is, big ass machine thing, I don't know, but you can still take them out. And I've done this, you know, multiple times. Obviously they have to be pretty close to the bubble, but just note that they don't always have to be in the bubble. You can test this out yourself and try it out and let me know. Tip number 17, a little cool thing you can do with the Cleaner's ability of incendiary rounds is make sure, first of all, you have your damage number. Basically, when you shoot at some people, you see their damage coming out of them. Well, make sure you have that on in your settings. I believe it's in the UI settings. After that, you're gonna notice something, right? When you hit them with the incendiary rounds, you have like damage floating, like the 2 from the fire rounds. And this is actually kind of cool because one, you can kind of, if you're chasing somebody, you can kind of see the 2 the damage like kind of like lingering behind them. So it kind of gives you like a mini tracker. So it's a kind of cool thing to understand, and I definitely have used it before. Obviously that's very situational, but it does come in handy and it does happen. Also, I don't know if this is like depending on the material that you're looking through or the object, or you know, if you've seen them before, but I've shot people with the incendiary rounds and then I go behind the wall, you know, wherever I get some cover for a second, and I still see, you know, the damage being taken through the wall, meaning they're still still there. Like, I'm basically having wall hacks to some degree. So I don't know, it's pretty cool, and that's just something you have to understand and note down. Tip 18, when Echelon, when you activate camo, there's something that you need to understand. You can do a lot of things other than shoot your gun, and it won't break the camo. So you can reload, you can throw your tacticals, you can aim in but just don't shoot. So you can do basically everything, but shooting your gun will obviously break the camo. But this comes in handy because if you can throw your tacticals while you're camoed, you can actually catch your opponents off guard. You can throw a flash, stay camoed, flash them. It's gonna be hard for them to see you. You jump on them, free kill, right? You can have a frag grenade. You cook it up, camoed behind, they can't really see you. It's hard for them to see you. You cook the thing up, boom, straight to their face. You get them one shot or kill them, and then you shoot, obviously kill the other person. So camo is pretty effective, and obviously use it to its full potential. Tip 19. I just want you guys to note something with DedSec Ultra. Now, obviously, his Ultra is very annoying. Completely blocks all your abilities, your ults, and you can't do anything, right? This is obviously annoying if you're in a really, like, how do I say, hectic chaos, you know, last hill, last game-changing points. Like, this is the worst part for it to happen. But there's something you should obviously remember. If you die while DedSec Ultra's popped and you spawn up, you don't have it affecting you no longer. So basically what I'm trying to say is, in those crucial moments and those crucial times, if he pops in, you insta die, you immediately come back and you can use any ability you want. You can use any ulti you want. It doesn't stay lingering on you anymore. So in those situations, you're like, oh, I gotta pop my ult, and he DedSec, and then you can't pop your ult, and like, oh, my teammates need my ult in the hill. Remember this, go die. You know what I'm saying? In game, of course, go perish, and then just insta spawn in, and you can use your ult and literally catch them off guard. And tip 20, empty clip is better sometimes than actually reloading. Now, we talk about the sniper like the M44 where it reloads one bullet at a time. Well, something I like to do is if I have one or two bullets left, hell, I'll just shoot my gun and get rid of that bullet, because then it goes for the full reload and completely gives you the whole clip. Now, this is only effective with like 2 guns in this game, I think. This might be even something that could be utilized later on when they add more weapons, and this is a factor, but it's a cool little tip for you to know. If you learned even one new thing, please drop a like and subscribe to the channel. And obviously, you can catch me at twitch.tv/apathy, where I'm live every single day if you want to come by and show some love. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video.